Cam, you had a much better game last week, but your statistics personally have been kind of inconsistent week to week this year. How can you step up in that regard in terms of getting a consistent amount of catches every single week?
Just got to go out there and do whatever I can for our team to win, whether that means I'm making a lot more catches or if that means I'm blocking more. So I'm not really concerned about consistently catching the ball as much as I did this past weekend or any other game. It's more of just going out there and getting that win with the team and doing whatever I can to the best of my ability for the team.
Fitz described your running game as yuck. Football term, I guess. What did you see against? Obviously, Michigan State, nobody runs against them. But what did you see in that game, and what gives you hope that it can get better?
Um, we were getting stopped. We got stopped a good amount of times, and it's not acceptable if you want to have a championship caliber team, and we got to get that going. But um, I believe in our offensive linemen, our running backs, quarterbacks, receivers. I mean, everyone. We're all going to come together to get that going because you open up the run more than the pass opens, and vice versa. So we're going to figure that out, get that going, because we want to be a championship caliber team. So uh, whether that means we're going to start running the ball a lot more during practice or whatever it is, then we're going to try to do our best.
I'm doing some on Drake. He had the one good 11
Yeah.
first. What do you see from
He's athletic. He's got some talent, and it's going to be fun to watch him grow and develop as a player. I mean, of course, he's young. He's a true freshman, and it's exciting to watch him play and watch him practice because he's got some capabilities that a lot of other people don't have. So uh, watching him develop and grow up is going to be great, and I can't wait to see that happen.
Final follow-up on that. Do you think he's the fastest guy on the team?
I'm not sure. We got some fast guys. To my belief, I think Cam Ruiz is one of the fastest guys that we have, and he's really been standing out. I mean, during the games, making big time plays. So Drake is very fast. Laterally, he's extremely fast. Um, but I gotta say it to my other Cam because he's also very fast.
Fitz says that right now you're showing maturity and playing with a lot of confidence. Is there a new maturity about you, and are you more confident? Where's that confidence come from?
Um, I do feel more confident in the way that I've been playing, and I honestly have to credit that to the other superbacks. We hold each other accountable for everything that we do, whether that means knowing our plays or film study and everything like that. So, um, filling in shoes from previous years and the past superbacks is a very hard thing to do. And I mean, all of our superbacks have come together and really just try to mature and grow up and become leaders in ways that we haven't before. So uh, that's kind of part of the maturity process, and it hasn't come naturally. Um, Both it's been from all the guys, especially James Prather, who's one of the oldest guys in the room. He's leading us vocally, and I try to do it physically sometimes here and there, but it's mostly from those guys that maturity has really come.
You're sort of aware then of the history of superbacks and
Yes,
vitality.
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, Garrett Dickerson's like an older brother to me. He tried to teach me the ways and everything like that. And I saw Dan Vitale play too as when I was a young player here, and then Drake Dunsmore, who's awesome, watching his film and seeing how they play. And it's tough trying to be like them because they're all skilled in so many different ways. So just trying to bring in a piece of that.
Uh, what kind of impact have guys like Hyrick and J.J. Jefferson made with their speed, explosive ability, and spreading defenses out?
Unbelievable impact. I mean, you said it. They're fast and they're explosive and they make big plays, and it's great to have them on the field because that keeps the defense humble. Because those guys will go out there and make plays, and we have other guys who are capable of making those plays too. So, being able to have some guys that will beat you deep or just run right by you or anything like that, make sure that a defense has to back up a little bit, which in turn and long term can help us run the ball more, or even shorter passes or anything like that. So, having them is a blessing.
On this Saturday, can you take me through that play a little bit? Kind of what set up and how the whole thing developed?
Uh, Yeah, well, we ran the play earlier in the game, and it was I don't even remember when it was in the game, but at that time it opened up a little bit and came to the sideline, talked to Clayton, and said, hey, be ready for that play again because that was opening up in terms of my route itself. And then when we called it and ran it again, I just kind of went through my motions of running a route, having a guy try to knock your hands off or knock you off the route and just swiping by it and going vertical, trying to stack them on top, and then the ball was in, the most perfect spot. I don't know if it could be placed any better than that, which is what Clayton was doing all day. So, honestly, I'd love to say I did something out of the normal, but the play was there. It was a perfect call at the right time. So our coaches did that well, and then offensive line blocked, gave Clayton enough time to throw the ball, and then Clayton threw a beautiful ball right in the perfect spot. So yeah.
Following up on that touchdown pass, so that was in the third quarter. You guys have had such struggles in the second half scoring, so that kind of got that monkey off the back, and you had fallen behind. So, were you feeling a little pressure there, and what was it like to finally get that score?
In a game, there's pressure at all times. Whether you're up big or you're up little, any team can come back and make plays. So yeah, there's pressure, and we knew that we haven't scored that many points in the second half, but it was more of just continuing to finish the game, try to get more points on the board, and also just maintaining that the lead that we had. So we're just honestly just trying to win the game. It doesn't really matter if they score. If they score, we got to score again, type deal. So yeah, of course there's pressure, and there's pressure in every game in almost every situation. So yeah.
Are you a receiver or tight end at the next level?
That's a great question that I don't have the answer to. Yeah, I wonder the same thing. So, honestly, I'd love to play anywhere. If you tell me I'm a place kicker for the day, and then 3 steps back, 2 steps to the side, and let's let it ride. So, it doesn't really matter. Kind of a role player. I'd say that's my position, is just a role player.
It said that another thing is that Clayton's continuing to get better, and it shows. Do you see him getting better, and where does it show?
Absolutely. People can see it very often on the field, but what I notice the most is off the field. He's been a tremendous leader, and he walks us through film sessions and just tries to talk to everybody and get on the same page as them, so we understand what he sees as well as what we are able to see. So he's a leader through communication and also his abilities on the field. But he's really showed that this offseason, and it was great to see it, coming from that injury that he had and coming back. He's had to step up vocally and be there for the guys since he couldn't be there physically, and it really shows to this day that he's able to be on the same page with everybody and be able to lead us in a film room and help us understand what he sees and why he goes through certain progressions here and there.
Yeah, down the stretch, it was kind of we knew it was going to be an exciting ending. With them, it always is, and we figured we need to focus in on what we're doing. Each play matters, and each play could be the one that decides the game. So we were going out there talking about how we didn't want to let a breakdown, a one-man breakdown, or miscommunication be the deciding factor in that game.
What was your take on that real quick on the 4th and 1 play?
Yeah, they came out with the tight end in line. I was expecting to run that whole time, 4th and 1 on the goal line. That's kind of the typical play that people will try to smash it in, but they surprised us with a quick pop pass, to the sideline. I wasn't expecting the pass, so I didn't get a good pass rush. But credit to our secondary; they did a great job locking down and making sure they couldn't score on that. Kind of turned the tide of the game.
Joe, we got Adrian Martinez from Nebraska, very dynamic young guy. How big a challenge is it for a pass rusher to transfer system?
Yeah, for sure. There are a lot of talented quarterbacks that we faced this year, and he's one of them. Lewerke was also a big challenge last week because he likes to get outside of the pocket and extend the play. This week we need to really focus, making sure that our lanes are disciplined. So that means, from an inside perspective, if you're drawing the short string, getting a double team, you need to be pushed in their pocket and making sure that he can't step up. From the outside, you can't get past the quarterback because then you're useless, being downfield and not in front of him. But also just making sure that we keep an eye on him in our pass rush. Sometimes you get focused up on the tackles and trying to beat your man, and you lose sight of where he is. And if he escapes in your area, you need to be able to counter back or wherever you are.
Purple end versus the red end. How much better does the end look in purple?
Yeah, I like our end a lot better. I like the design of it. A lot of people say it looks better in purple. The block end has some significance to them, but I like our purple against there. It's been a great matchup in the past few years too. Obviously going to overtime last year. Their fans are great, and I'm sure they'll travel to this game as well. They always bring a great crowd, and I expect the purple fans to be loud as well on Saturday.
Seeing Cam Green at the football as much as he has, what's that been like? Did you see that coming from him going up against him as in the summer and whatnot?
Yeah, he's a great player. He's very talented with the ball and without the ball. I think he's done a great job blocking on the perimeter and sealing guys in and allowing our running backs to break free. But also, obviously you saw it Saturday. He's very talented, tracking down the ball, and he's a matchup nightmare. Linebackers, it's tough to guard him because he's got speed, and for corners, it's tough to guard him because he's got physicality, he's got size. I applaud him for his performance on Saturday, and I expect a great season out of him.
Does it drive you guys crazy that you have so much trouble winning at home?
Yeah, a little bit. It's been weird because you expect to play better at home and in front of your own crowd, and for us it hasn't been the case. But I think just kind of the way the dice have rolled this year, and we need to step up for sure in front of our fans and give them something to cheer for. We haven't been able to provide that yet, but for us it's a matter of being comfortable in our home stadium, protecting our turf, and making sure that we play as well as we have. And we know we're capable of it, and just bringing that performance to our home stadium.
You guys do different stuff before games? You have the same routine? You know what I'm saying? Like if you win, you do the same thing. If you lose, you do something different?
Yeah, we try to keep it consistent pre-game. Even when we are traveling, at home games, we're still in the hotel to, try to keep the routine the same, keep the meals the same, and be together as a team. I think that obviously when you win, you want to be able to celebrate that and enjoy each other's company. And when you lose, you want to be together and make sure it's not something that's consuming your life. Because Coach Fitz has talked about it before. Football is something we do. It's not who we are, though. So I think we'll be together, but we'll just kind of watch the slate of college football on Saturday and Sunday. So post win or lose, it's the feeling's different, but it's the same routine.
You've had a lot of consistent success over this year and then last year. I think 12 out of the last 14 games, you've had at least one tackle for loss, whereas the defense as a whole has been maybe a little bit less consistent. Obviously you guys have had plenty of good games in that time frame, but a couple of halves or quarters where you guys have kind of slipped out of sync. How can you work on keeping that consistency up as a unit, as a team?
Yeah, consistency is key for us. I think we've had a lot of great plays and a lot of plays where we'd like to have back, so we need to make sure that we are executing throughout. And there are games where, I may have had a TFL or a sack here and there, but I don't consider it a good game for myself. So I think as a whole defense, we need to communicate better to make sure that consistency is good, because if we have different guys in different assignments, then we're not able to execute together. But just generally playing better, we need to step up and make more plays. Bottom line is, we can't let people come into Ryan Field and gain yards on us like they have in the past.
What's up, Joe?
How's it going?
Seems like you're getting a lot of effort from Alex Miller, Trent Goins, Ernest Brown. A lot of pressure last week. These are guys that are on the depth chart. They're all mixing in. Tell us about the play of the guys that might not get introduced at the beginning of the game, but are in the game a lot.
Yeah, for sure. Ernest Brown, I think, had the best game of his career so far. Credit to him stepping up on our rush team. Did an excellent job of getting on the perimeter and getting pressure. He had one key play too where he batted a ball down on a screen pass that if he didn't bat that down, it might have been out the gate. So really fortunate to have him on the other side of me on our rush packages and third down. He's a very talented player, has great explosion off the line, and plays really hard too. Trent is a guy who has just battled through a lot of stuff, and he's played through a lot of small injuries, but stuff that can add up, and he's a battler. And Alex Miller, both the Miller brothers have played really well too. I think we're a defensive line by committee. We're not a couple front runners. We play together, and we're kind of the guys who will stick together and play together.
So what percentage of the time do you go in to play tackle versus end, run, pass? Tell us a little bit about that mix.
It's a great question for Coach Fitz and Coach Hankowitz.